my way, and I will cover you.
Jared Wingate with soundcheck411.com, and I'm here with Resz. Let's go ahead and introduce you guys.
Adrian Guetta, vocalist of the band.
Phil on drums.
Pete, guitar.
Rick, guitar.
AJ, bass.
Cool. So, where are you guys located?
Corpus.
Corpus Christi, Texas. Somewhere on planet.
Texas. And
Texas.
tell me about you guys winning the Battle of the Bands.
Which one?
The one for Rockstar.
Well, that was a lot of fun.
Yeah, man. That was mostly an online battle. You have to make a page on their website and share. Ask people to share, and we had to be within the top 100 bands.
It was a social media contest.
We had to be within the top 100, and then the judges would select us, and then I guess they liked what they heard, and then we played the.
So what did it feel like when you guys got the word that you guys were, in, that you won?
Oh man, that was pretty cool.
Yeah, we were very stoked for it.
Some of the bands that were on that bill were bands that influenced us, and we listened to.
A lot of
So it was very cool when we got the email. I was like, yes.
Kind of a novel experience getting up to a lot of the bigger venues in town. Right now, there's not a whole lot that we haven't had the chance to participate playing with, so it's a lot of fun.
Right. Yeah. Well, you guys are getting up there big though. You've played at a couple of the big venues here already, so that's doing good so far. Tell us about the new album that you guys have out.
Transverse Orientation.
Yes.
T.O.
Yeah, that's been a culmination of about 5 years of tears and sweat and a lot of blood. A lot of bloodshed.
Yeah, working as a band, everybody's ideas into one album, and I've written a few songs about trying to find the light in your life, trying to find a path, and sure, all these guys have been through a little despair in their life as well, and just ran into, I was looking up insects and researching, why they follow the light, why they're guided to it, and Transverse Orientation came up and it sounded really cool, and it described the reason why they're guided to it, and brought it up to the guys, and a few songs, like I said, talk about it, and so I thought it was a good idea to do it.
Well, that's good. Your number one single on the album's got some radio play here locally. Can you tell us about it, the song?
To the Hearts.
Yes.
Yeah, Till It Hurts is, well, it's kind of regretful and a shameful song, talking about my guilt and some of the things I've done and in life and some of my mistakes. And I guess it kind of just puts me in the place to understand that I can learn from those mistakes, and I can move on and progress as a person.
Right. So I totally understand that. How would you guys explain your sound to the viewers who haven't heard the album yet?
I think most people that come face value, see and listen to the band, I think usually they don't know how to categorize it themselves. They have a hard time, just like we do. So our sound
is a roller coaster ride.
Yeah, it's very, very diverse.
Very diverse, yes.
I mean, the best we can hit it is rock and roll, baby.
Rock and roll. Yeah, that's pretty good. My favorite track on the album is Till the End. It's I don't know how many times I've listened to it. I can hear it over and over again. But to me, it's phenomenal. The only way that I can describe it is like a mix between Stone Temple Pilots, Tool, and Pearl Jam.
What song? To the End?
To the End.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
That's badass.
Yeah. That's my phenomenal. That's my favorite track on there. It's completely phenomenal.
That song got started because we were watching a show on TV about people who prepare for the end of the world, and it ended up turning. It was supposed to be a song that was very minimalistic and simple, and did a filler song,
Right.
kind of basically.
Right.
And then it ended up being a song that most people actually enjoy.
Oh, it definitely is a better
Top
track.
guys, for
It's
sure.
a very different song.
How long have you guys been a group?
Shit, 6 years?
5.5, right?
Almost 6
Yeah.
months.
They almost
This
six.
year will be 6.
Almost
Summer.
Summer.
Yeah, we got the end of the summer. of 2009, was it?
Yeah, no, it's been a long time.
We started met what was it? Rick and I and then over at downtown Corpus Christi playing open mic nights, and Adrian showed up one day, and AJ was right there that day as well. And then I think we all that night ended up at my place because we got cut off short from a time crunch, and boom, started feeling the chemistry and just having fun and writing some music shortly thereafter. And Pete hopped on not even a week,
Like
3
a week,
weeks
a
later.
week or two later, because I had met him right around the time that he met them.
Right.
And I was playing with another band, and when that fell apart, I called him up and was like, hey, do you want to jam? He's like, well, I'm kind of playing with these guys right now, and then just come over. Went over and
You showed him a song we had just written with Adrian.
Brace
Yeah.
yourself.
Brace yourself.
brace yourself, yeah. Old song. And from there on, I guess they liked me.
You wrote a song after you had gotten out of the hospital from being hit by a car. Could you tell us a little bit about it?
After I got out of the hospital?
Yeah. Well, I guess you wrote it in the hospital, or
I think you took about to the end, actually.
To the end was, I wrote
Yeah.
that near the end of my recovery. I was already starting to get better. I was well enough to get up and do things on my own.
What about D-Net?
D-Net, D-Net was
D-Net
what I
That's the one
wrote.
he's
Yeah.
talking about.
I wrote that one probably like a couple weeks out of the hospital. I was still pretty fucked up. Yeah, I was. And I was asleep, man, dreaming. And in my dream, I was at a chalkboard, and there was this crazy music playing in the background. I could not describe the music, I couldn't remember the music, but I remember along with the music, I was repeating in my head over and over again. I was writing on the chalkboard. Like, have you ever seen the beginning of The Simpsons? Where
Yeah.
I was rewriting it over and over on the chalkboard. It says, the real world's not real anymore, just send us updates and storyboards. And I woke up out of the dream, and he was living at my house at the time. He was right next to me, man, on the floor. And I woke him up, and I couldn't get up on my own, so I asked him to get me a pen and a paper. It was like 4 o'clock in the morning, and he's like, are you kidding me? I was like, give me a pen
The
and
juices are
paper."
strong with this one in the middle of the night.
I had class at 7.
He gave me an envelope or something like that and a pen, and I wrote the first 2 lines of the first verse down, and then that next day, or like the next day or something like that, or that weekend, I went with him to his house here in Kingsville to watch a UFC fight, and the few hours leading up to that fight, I sat in his room and I wrote the rest of the music for that song and the chorus to that song, and he helped me. He usually helped me write the whatever verses I
Right.
write. And that's how that song came about. D-Network. It's about de-social networking.
The social network era.
The cons
Right.
of social networking.
Right.
Basically.
Yeah, definitely a strong song.
It's probably my top 3 favorite tracks on the album, for sure.
What are you guys' favorite songs on the album? Each one of you, which one's your personal favorites?
I have heard them all too many damn times. They're all like moot songs to me now. Like I hear them, and all I hear are the things that we either didn't quite get right in recording, or
So
that,
much personal
yeah, I just
attachment to
I
it.
don't know. Maybe for me, it's probably Till It Hurts, Fade Away, and One Lie. Probably my top 3 on the album.
Mine has to be One Line. Yeah, I like the bass line on that song. 'Cause I didn't write that. I do dig it.
Pete?
I have
D-Network, To the End, and a toss-up between Me for Dead and The Fix.
Why?
Me for Dead is like a personal song. I wrote that guitar piece at my house. I just wanted to write something different that we had, and then he took the lyrics very personally when he was writing them out. The beautiful lyrics, it's a change from the other songs that we have on the album.
Right.
And then I think The Fix, it's again different, we don't have a riff like the one on the guitar riff for The Fix, we don't have something like it on the album. And it's something that immediately caught his attention. He's like, oh man, that kind of sounds like Tool, let's do it. And then I think The Fix is probably my favorite solo along with D-Network, so.
Right. And you, Phil?
Probably right up at the top. I've got a lot of ties, but I would say the top few would be To the End, the Sky and Crosshairs. I mean, being that Fall from the Sky has such a, it's like an intricate, I wouldn't call it not jerky, but it takes you and it brings you back, and it takes you and brings it back within just a few seconds.
Right.
It just jumps out at you and brings it back. It jumps out at you, and it just kind of has a lot of a broad sound to it. And of course, I love Fade Away. I mean, it took us two or three years to record that one song, and I mean, it came out just how
Our profession
I
can be
imagined it.
rushed, though, you know what I mean?
No, yeah, and
It takes its time.
if you're a good professional, then you don't need a lot of time.
I agree with him on Crosshairs. Crosshairs is also up there too, because it's just such a crazy song,
Right.
you know, for us. It's all over the place, tempo changes,
One take.
different stuff,
you know,
and we did that in one take.
and Rick did it in one take. I did it in
Solo,
one take.
one take.
We
from
just
solo.
it was just all from the heart and
It just all
balls.
falls together then, right? And you?
I'd be with Phil on Fall from the Sky. And each bring their own emotions to the table for me every time I play them. Sometimes I get teary-eyed or I get a little emotional with the experience that it was written for, and
Right.
like the origins of the song. Some songs that I didn't write, I'll still place it somewhere in my heart where that song would help me or heal me. So
Right.
I'd say Fall from the Sky, Leave Me for Dead. I mean, somebody taking the beauty out of your sunset is what do you got left?
Right.
What is there left?
Right.
So, Leave Me for Dead and the acoustic song that we have on the song, Sweet Machine, is there,
It's a song at the end of Crosshairs.
yeah, it's a big impact.
So if you haven't heard it, you probably heard it.
Let Crosshairs play.
Let Crosshairs play, and
Yeah.
there'll be a song at the end of Crosshairs.
Cool. Okay, so I've seen you guys perform personally 2 or 3 times. I think maybe 2. I'm not for sure. Adrian, your stage persona just blows my mind. A lot of the audience members don't know what to think.
They don't know whether to hate him, hit him,
Right.
or to get
Or
behind
punch
him.
him in the face.
But you know what? That crowd interaction is just one of the biggest things that really pulls a crowd to a band too. Is being able, it's saying I'm like you. I'm no different, right? But how did you become so open? Because me myself, if I was up on stage, there was no way I could climb down into the people.
When I was young, I started singing, just kind of to my parents and just in that environment. And when I go out to school, I was really, really shy. I was never open to anybody. Started getting friends like probably middle school, high school. But I got bullied a lot when I was younger. The Fix is the example of that experience. And ever since then, man, I don't ever get embarrassed. I don't ever get nervous. So, and singing is the place where I feel like I need to be, or that's where I should be. If anything was left in this world that I'm gonna leave or I'm gonna offer somebody, it's gonna be lyrics and the music behind it. So I feel comfortable as hell on that stage. And even when I'm around strangers, you can love me, want to punch me, hate me, whatever, but that's me. So
Yeah.
how you react to that is your thing.
I absolutely loved seeing you down there. But some people, like I said, they just didn't know what to think. Apparently, it's never happened to them before.
I think
Probably
it's
hasn't.
because we're not quite at that level where we're playing in front of tens of thousands of people, and his persona is appropriate for that. So when we're playing in front of 30 or 40 or 100 people, 200 people, it's still not quite enough of a mass for that to be okay. When you're in front of 10, 20,000 people or whatever, you can shit in your hand, fucking smear it on your face, and they're gonna fucking be all about it. You know what I'm saying? So I think when we get to that point, what he does naturally will be it'll be understood better.
Nonetheless, like you said, it does have that connection with the crowd, regardless of how large the crowd is.
As a photographer, from
everybody
what I see,
understands shitting on your hand.
it's
very personal.
as a photographer, from what I see, it's really just the guys have the weird look, but the girls enjoy it. The girls love it. They love that you're there,
Yeah.
What's in the future for Resz? What do you guys got going on? You got any upcoming albums that you guys are working on? Any tours?
We
Any
got
festivals?
a lot of album material.
Yeah,
We need to let this first one right
Yeah,
out.
we're gonna have a Res fight night this Sunday here in a week. We're all gonna just barbarically go at each other with
Yeah.
axes. And
5
swords.
Res members go in.
Yeah, that's
Res
the
members
biggest
come
next
out.
thing. So
Nah,
it's gonna be at the old Coliseum, the one that's about to be torn down. It's the art museum now, but they're gonna resurrect it.
we have so many songs, man. Like 30, 40 songs that are ready.
We're
go.
writing songs
And
currently.
we're writing songs as
We
go
have
along, you know.
a solid 3 albums, like long albums worth of material
More.
that we haven't.
Right. So
Yeah,
you
but
guys
we'd like
have
to
studio
see
dates
that.
lined up, or?
No,
No,
we're just gonna sit on them till it's time.
We're
See-
gonna wait. We're gonna wait till this album at least a year and a half old or so to even think about going back. You know, plus new songs take a little bit of a while to perfect. Like Fade Away took at least 2 years to
Yeah, I
actually get it
remember.
down.
Yeah, you gotta remember we're doing all this independently.
Right.
So
Yeah, we're
Exactly.
not waiting on a songwriter from Arkansas to come over.
we're
Yeah,
not
no,
being
yeah,
financed by anybody outside.
It's-
whoever our means.
As
are.
soon as our means and our needs are met individually, we can culminate a financial, a little bit of a extra change in our pockets as a band. At that point, we will hopefully see some studio time.
So you guys are entering into another battle of the bands here soon. Where and what?
What's going on? It's online again.
It's online again?
Yeah, it's actually from the very same people that put the Rockstar Battle of the Bands together. This
Ah.
one's for Austin Flood Fest
Okay.
2015. Again, got to be within the top 100, but this time it's top 100 of the whole thing, not just the date that you're
Just the top
applying
100
for.
of the whole.
It has to be the whole thing. But we do have a show coming up in Austin. That's going to be March 18th. It's going to be doing South by Southwest Music Week. It's going to be at the Red Shed Tavern. It's the Texas Indie Fest. So we got that, and then we're waiting on a couple more opportunities. But they're going to let us know if we are playing or not.
Right.
We could potentially play some gigs in Dallas that week too. So
Well, that'll be
We'll
good.
see.
That'll be real good. Real good.